Hello, BookTube. This is Weekly Reads. I've had a very good reading week. I started my reading week with We Are Your Soldiers, How Gamal Abdel Nasser Remade the Arab World by Alex Rowell. So this is a look at 18 years of the history of the Middle East. Starting with the 1952 coup that led to the disestablishment of the Egyptian monarchy through to 1970 with the death of Gamal Abdel Nasser after 18 years rule in Egypt. So the book looks at how Nasser remade Egypt, how the Egypt that existed before 1952 was irrevocably altered thereafter, and how 72 years later, these changes, the after effects, the legacy, is still being felt. And how Nasser's revolution, this idea of Nasserism, which is a sort of pragmatic form of socialism, was exported to Iraq and Syria and Yemen and Libya, and was attempted in Jordan and Lebanon. So the book is divided into several sections. Rao limits himself to a limited scope of countries that Nasser influenced. So it starts with Egypt and then goes to Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Jordan. Each of these countries have 3 chapters that explore Nasser's influence, the sort of conflicts that rose up, that sort of thing. Yemen, a return to Egypt, which looks at the final years of Nasser's presidency in Libya, which is the beginning of the Gaddafi regime, are 1 chapter each. And then the final summation of looking at how even 70 years later, and 50 years after his death, that Nasser's influence and legacy still permeates the Arab world. Rowell's argument and presentation of that influence and legacy is wholly negative. In this book, Nasser's influence is quite cancerous, and his legacy is enduringly ruinous. On the whole, I liked it. I didn't love it. The prose is effective enough to keep me reading. In fact, normally over the course of a weekend day, so a Saturday or a Sunday, I can average between 150 to 200 pages, depending on how fast-paced the prose is. With We Are Your Soldiers, I managed 250 pages. Now, part of that was this past Saturday. There was a storm that came through that knocked out our power for about 3 or 4 hours. And for some parts of my town, power was out for closer to 8 hours, or 7 hours, ultimately. So, anyway. So, it's a fast-paced read, and I liked it. I didn't love it. I think maybe more could have been done with particularly Egypt before Nasser, like a deeper look at that of like what happened, what changed. But on the whole, I liked it, and it did end a spate of history-related bails, so that was a positive. But it really didn't, and it hasn't really sparked a renewed or a renewed interest in wanting to add more history to my collection, which is kind of what I was hoping it would do. Anyway, but since I managed to get so much read on Saturday, I only had about 90 pages to read on Sunday. So with the second part of my Sunday reading, I reread after well over a decade, Source by Mark Doty. So this is a collection that came out in, I think, 2004 or thereabouts. And I picked it up shortly after it came out and remember quite liking it. And I've wanted to pick it back up ever since. And it's been a bit of time before I reread it, but I quite enjoyed it. It was really fun, although it is nowhere near what I remember it being. And then over Monday and Tuesday, I read the two poetry collections by Myronn Hardy that I have. I reread Radioactive Starlings for the third or fourth time, and I really enjoyed this reread. This collection is really good. And I read for the first time Aurora Americana, which is Hardy's latest, and I just recently picked it up, and I really enjoyed this collection as well. So yeah. So over the course of Wednesday, Thursday, and today, I read 9 volumes of Naruto by Masashi Kishimoto. I read volumes 28 through 36. So Naruto is one of the most popular manga series ever. It is the story of a young man named Uzumaki Naruto, who is a student ninja in the village of Konohagakure, a ninja village located in the land of fire. Naruto is the town pariah. On the day of his birth, a 9-tailed demon fox attacked the village. To save the village, the Hokage at the time sealed the 9-tailed demon fox into infant newborn Naruto at the cost of his own life. Subsequently, the village rejected Naruto. And in an attempt to gain recognition, Naruto became the class clown, the village troublemaker. Eventually, Naruto graduates to become an apprentice ninja. He is, as a genin, assigned to a team with a more experienced ninja, a jonin named Kakashi. Joining Naruto are his crush, Haruno Sakura, and Uchiha Sasuke, Naruto's rival. Over the course of the first part of the series, Naruto and his team have many adventures, and ultimately Sasuke defects from the village to an enemy of the village named Orochimaru, who is a former Konoha ninja, one of the 3 legendary ninjas, but he's defected. Sasuke does this because Orochimaru promised him power. Sasuke has one objective in life: to kill his older brother for massacring their family years earlier. And Sasuke is willing to do anything it takes to accomplish this mission. Naruto and several of his age group attempted to stop Sasuke and failed. At the end of this, the other 2 legendary ninja, Jiraiya and the new Hokage Tsunade, take Naruto and Sakura under their wings. Naruto goes on a multi-year training trip with Jiraiya, and Sakura remains in Konoha studying under Tsunade. So 3 years later, Naruto and Jiraiya return to the village. And things begin to pick back up. So in addition to Orochimaru, there's another antagonistic force, the Akatsuki, who are a group of rogue ninja who have an unknown agenda, who are seeking out people like Naruto, people who have these tailed monsters sealed within them called Jinchuriki. Their first target is Naruto's friend Gaara, who, while during the Chunin exams was an antagonist, he returned during the attempt to rescue Sasuke as an ally. Gaara has risen through the ranks of his village of Sunagakure to become the Kazakage, the leader of Suna, which sort of mirrors Naruto's primary dream of becoming the Hokage of Konoha. So 2 members of the Akatsuki, Sasori, who is a former Suna ninja, and Deidara, who is a former Iwa ninja. There are 5 great shinobi nations with their own village. So Deidara attacks the village of Suna, and Gaara engages him. While protecting Suna, Gaara is defeated and captured. The Suna ninja then send a signal to Konoha asking for aid. Kakashi, Naruto, and Sakura are sent as a rapid response unit, and later Mike Guy and his team consisting of Neji, Tintin, and Rock Lee join them as well. So the interesting, cool thing about this arc, so I read 2 full arcs and the beginnings of a third in these 9 volumes. So the fun thing about this first arc is the focus on Sakura and her growth over the time skip. In her fight with Sasori alongside Lady Chiyo, elder of Suna, is amazing, just amazing. The second arc, well, I'll show you some pictures before getting to the second arc. So there's that. I want to show you real quick the picture of Konoha. So here's Gaara. And a few fight scenes. And there's Gaara confronting Deidara. And then there's that. Okay. This one here. And it's one of Sasori's puppets. Oop. I'm hoping that this was not the. And then there's the Sasori puppet. Um, mhm. And then there's Sakura's determination. There's that. Yeah. And then there's. So yeah, so this arc was really amazing, and I also really liked Chio. That was really awesome as well. And here's Naruto taking on Deidara. And then I just also really loved the relationship between Naruto and Gaara, just how that's illustrated in these volumes. This arc. So the second arc, so at the end of this first arc, Sasori, before he dies, reveals that he has a spy with Orochimaru that he's going to meet in a few days' time. So Konoha decides to try to capture the spy and learn what they know of Orochimaru and his operations, and perhaps even the location of Sasuke. So they set up sort of an exfiltration mission. And Naruto's team is selected. Unfortunately, Kakashi is wounded and needs to recuperate. So a new team has to be built. And Naruto initially goes and looking around his age group to try to find a new teammates. However, Tsunade is pressured to include as sort of the junior member. So, how Konoha and most ninja cells in this setting work is a four-person team. Captain and then three support ninja. So in this situation, there's Naruto and Sakura, but the leader and the fourth person are missing. So Tsunade is forced to accept a candidate from a radical faction of Konoha called the Foundation, which is led by a man named Danzo. And so Danzo selects one of his younger subordinates, a man who goes by the codename Sai, to fill in as the fourth person. And as team captain, Tsunade selects a man named, for this mission, codenamed Yamato, who is a member of the official Black Ops organization, who has an ability to deal with Naruto if he ever goes over the deep end. Which is very apropos because he does in this arc. So the team has conflicts because, of course, you have the core of one team sort of being joined by others, and the personalities don't quite gel. Sai is quite similar to Sasuke in a lot of ways, but he also isn't. He's not the best with people, and of course that's Danzo's intention because he's a jerk. He's a radical, an extremist who basically believes that shinobi should lack emotions, and that kind of causes a lot of problems for team cohesion. And Yamato's trying to accomplish the mission while juggling his three subordinates, and it takes some time for them to kind of work together. So at the meeting, they discover that the spy is actually Orochimaru's right-hand man, Kabuto. And it's also revealed that Orochimaru broke the conditioning on Kabuto long ago, and that they were planning on actually trying to assassinate Sasori because Orochimaru, while he's a former member of the Akatsuki, has no love for his former organization and would actually like Konoha to eliminate a few members for him. It's complicated. And while the mission initially was to capture Kabuto and bring him back to Konoha, the mission changes, in part because Danzo's gonna Danzo. And Sai has a secret mission, or several secret missions. So he betrays his team and appears to defect to Orochimaru, which is to basically build bridge between Orochimaru and Danzo for a second attempt to conquer Konoha, which is what Danzo wants. He wants to be Hokage. Meanwhile, Sai's actual mission is to eliminate Orochimaru's next host, which is Sasuke. However, over the course of this arc, Sai begins to question his mission, and particularly on seeing Naruto and Sakura's concern and love for Sasuke, that Sai kind of wants to figure out, well, what's going on? What are these emotions? And why are my teammates acting the way they are? And so he abandons his mission and tries to help his teammates bring Sasuke home. And Sasuke makes his return, and it's quite awesome. He's as sociopathic as ever. And it's a pretty fun arc. And then well, let me go show you some pictures, because I especially want to try to show you like the Sasuke's reveal, because that is awesome. So here is Sai, and at the end of this arc, Sai and Yamato permanently rejoin or permanently join Team Kakashi, and Kakashi from here on out will occasionally fill in for other Jonin leaders as needed. Let's see, there's Shino, and Naruto's interactions with Team Kurenai in this arc is hilarious, particularly Shino, who is a bit upset because Naruto did not recognize him. And that was Kiba. And then there is Hinata. Um, and then there's Choji. And then there's some of Sai's abilities. So Sai has the ability to bring together his art to life. And one other thing about this foundation is they have horrible sense of fashion, where Denzo just really likes his subordinates to expose their midriffs. But anyway. Oh, and that's a really good scene too. So this is the new Team Kakashi. And there's Denzo and Tsunade. Yeah. And I really love this cover image. And also one thing about this arc that is really fun is how Naruto actually impresses and scares Orochimaru and Kabuto, because Naruto goes a little bit wild. It is amazing. Just amazing. So there's kind of like Sasuke in shadow, and is kind of beating Sai. And then there's that, which that's just awesome. And then so there's like here, and then it goes into like this here. Naruto looking up, Sasuke looking down, and then Sasuke. It's just, that is really awesome. So the next arc, which are included in the last two volumes that I read, involves two new members of the Akatsuki, Hidan and Kakuzu, who are introduced hunting down the second, the Jinchuriki of the second, of the two-tail beast. And then they enter the Land of Fire looking for bounties because Kakuzu is a bounty hunter. And when Kanoa learns of this, Tsunade sends out platoons to hunt them down. The platoon that happens to find them is one led by Sarutobi Osuma, one of Kakashi's colleagues, and includes one of Naruto's best friends, Shikamaru. And this arc is amazing. And this arc, so these two volumes sort of builds up to an amazing finale. I absolutely love how it turns out. So while this is going on, Naruto is beginning to train. While Kakashi's been laid up, he's been brainstorming how to help Naruto improve. And he hits on the brilliant idea of using one of Naruto's his signature moves, the Shadow Doppelganger technique, to be able to double and quadruple and more Naruto's learning speed. Because Naruto is not necessarily the smartest young man there is. And the idea is for Naruto to basically create a new jutsu using the Rasengan as its base. And during this, Naruto learns that he has a wind nature. And so Naruto's sort of working on this new jutsu while Asuma and Shikamaru are fighting Hidan and Kakuzu. But first there's the wrap-up of the Sasuke Returns arc. And I also love this one here too, where it's like Nasai's becoming accepted. And it's still never quite so there's that. Let me go find a picture of Kakuzu and Hidan. And here's the two tails. So also while this is going on, the Deidara and a new member, Toby, take on the three tails and do a real quick job of that too. And just this was a really fun arc, and I'll try to talk a bit more about that when I finish off the finish it off at some point. Oh yeah, and this is some of Shikamaru and Asuma playing shogi. So one thing about these early arcs in part 2 is that a number of other, it's like the arcs are usually quite short, but they're also kind of characterize other, like, pretty much it makes Naruto more of an ensemble than just solely centered on him. I really like the sort of attention this arc pays to Asuma and especially to Shikamaru, even though in Asuma's case it's basically one last thing because Asuma is ultimately killed in this arc. So yeah, so I had 3 awesome days reading these volumes of Naruto. I had an absolute blast. They were so much fun. And especially yesterday, I was expecting a package to come in, and the package missed me, even though I was like right at the window, and it kind of temporarily put me out of sorts. And reading those volumes just put me in a good mood. I was a lot happier afterwards. Oh, that's a little too graphic, but also a bit hilarious. The thing about Hidan is that he is functionally immortal. And that means he can do take a lot of damage. And using his jutsu to inflict that on other people. Oh yeah, and that is an amazing picture right there. And then I love this sort of the last pages of this arc. Is really amazing. Although there is one thing about this arc that is a bit, I don't know, necessarily problematic is the word. But so let me show you. So one thing about Asuma is that he is a chain smoker. And over the course of this arc in the Japanese version, Shikamaru takes up the habit. And you can kind of tell here that even though it is edited out, that he does so. And at the end of this arc and beginning of the next one, there's another bit of editing that goes on. But anyway, I mean, I loved these 9 volumes. It was a blast. I really enjoyed it, particularly given the fact that I just spent probably about 20 odd minutes or almost 30 minutes talking about it. But that's what I do when I read a lot of manga. Anyway, so quick look at what I will be reading this coming reading week. So I think I'm going to have another go at history this weekend, And I'm going to read The Last Kings of Macedonia and the Triumph of Rome by Ian Worthington. And if that doesn't quite turn out, I might try the Stone Diaries by Carol Shields. And if I have time, I'll read Metabolics by Jessica E. Johnson. And then over the course of the work week, Monday through Thursday, I will read the final 4 volumes of Alice in Borderland by Haro Aso. The 9th volume should be coming in tomorrow, and when that happens, I'll have a late video tomorrow with the book haul, because I do have quite a few volumes of Naruto and Black Clover that came in, and I'll pretty much do a large book haul tomorrow or Monday, depending. But I'm really looking forward to these. I cannot wait to return to Alice in Borderland. I'm really looking forward to it. So, anyway, BookTube, I have gone on for way too long. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. So thank you, BookTube. Have a great rest of your evening and weekend until I see you on Monday. Thank you and stay safe.